Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Hi, this is Jerry Hickey. Welcome to the episode. We're talking about the micronutrient copper today. Micronutrient, you only need small amounts, but it's an essential mineral and it does a lot of really important things for the body, including being needed for your immune system. So here's the issue. It's the time of the coronavirus pandemic, rather serious, and people realize zinc is very important for their immune system. Zinc does a lot of things for your immune system. You need zinc to create many immune cells. You need zinc for the immune cells to function. You even need zinc for cellular repair after an infection and to prevent your own immune system from damaging your organs and tissues. So currently people are taking high doses of zinc, which is a smart idea. The issue is it can deplete your copper because it interferes with copper absorption. So copper is an essential mineral. It's involved with energy, iron metabolism, creating your connective tissue like your ligaments, your tendons, your bones, your joints, and the formation of neurotransmitters in your brain so your brain works properly. Copper is also required in a very important antioxidant system called the SOD system. And importantly, during the times of the coronavirus, copper is required for your immune system function. So normally, you would get plenty of copper from your food, but you also get copper from your multivitamin. But if you take zinc, you need a little bit more just to play it safe. Now, in the diet, sources of copper include shellfish, like clams, mussels, and oysters, seeds and nuts, wheat bran, whole grains like whole grain cereals, chocolate, and organ meats. Not a big fan of organ meats because there's issues with that. I'm pretty much a vegetarian. Some important functions of copper. And once again, you don't need a lot, but you need it. You need copper to create energy out of your food. Without copper, you're not creating energy. Because there's an enzyme, it's called cytochrome C oxidase. And it's really critical for converting your food into energy. What it does, it triggers the formation of water out of oxygen, and this creates like an electrical current, an electrical gradient. And that's an energy source for the power plants within your cells. They're called mitochondria. This is where you're truly converting the end products of food into energy. So you make that vital energy storage molecule, ATP. All of your energy in your body pretty much is from ATP. So you need copper to create energy. That's the take home. But you also need copper to create connective tissue. There's a different copper-containing enzyme called lysyl oxidase. It's required to create collagen and elastin. Now, elastin is in your skin, mostly. It's for the elasticity and resilience of your skin. It's also in your ligaments and tendons. Collagen, on the other hand, is all over the body. It creates your connective tissue. It's in your ligaments, your tendons, your bursa cells. Those two pie-shaped wedges that support each knee joint, called menisci. It's in your bones. Collagen is in your bones. Your bone content of collagen is about 36%. That's actually where the calcium is. The calcium attaches to collagen. So collagen is the framework for your bones. About 67% of the cartilage in your joint is collagen. About 70% of your skin, most of your hair and nail tissue. So collagen's all over your body. You don't make collagen out of protein in your diet if you lack copper. So copper is essential for the formation of strong and flexible connective tissue. Now, the same enzyme, the lysyl oxidase, also helps maintain the integrity of connective tissue for your heart, your blood vessels, and it plays a role in bone formation. You need copper for iron metabolism. I mean, iron does so many things around the human body. Iron defends the brain. For instance, iron is the core of an antioxidant around your body called catalase, and that's one of the main defenders of your brain. Iron also in the brain creates neuroglobin that protects your brain from inflammation. Iron energizes your muscles with oxygen, with myoglobin. Iron supplies oxygen throughout your body with hemoglobin. That's the red stuff in your blood cell. Iron is involved with so many different things. Your immune cells use iron to kill infections. It's just very important. So there's 4 copper-containing enzymes. They're known as peroxidases that convert iron into its ferric form, the iron ferric form. Now that's really important because that's the form that iron takes on to go to your bone marrow so you can make red blood cells. So without copper, you can't make red blood cells and you become fatigued. So you need enough copper. It's necessary for normal iron metabolism and red blood cell formation. In fact, anemia is a clinical sign of copper deficiency. So with copper deficiency, it's difficult to transport iron, and instead of creating red blood cells, the iron tends to accumulate in your liver. So that's a bad thing. If you lack copper, instead of the iron going to your bone marrow to create red blood cells, you become anemic, but the iron also tends to accumulate in your liver. This leads to hepatic iron overload, something we call cirrhosis. I mean, it could be pretty nasty. You need iron in your central nervous system, in your spine and your brain and your nerves, because it's required for neurotransmitters. For instance, to create the neurotransmitter norepinephrine out of dopamine, you require dopamine beta hydroxylase, and that's a copper-containing enzyme. So norepinephrine allows you to focus on things. You need copper to create myelin. Myelin is a sheath covering your nerves that transfers messages to the brain very quickly. You need copper to create melanin. Melanin is required for the formation of pigment. Melanin gives you the pigment, the color of your eyes and your skin and your hair. Copper is also needed for superoxide dismutase. Superoxide dismutase is a master antioxidant system in the human body. It breaks down very vicious free radicals that can damage your organs and systems, your brain, your eyes. So it converts things like peroxynitrate and singlet oxygen into hydrogen peroxide, and then 2 other antioxidant systems, the catalase and the glutathione peroxidase system, further break down the hydrogen peroxide into usable water and oxygen. So you need copper for these systems to work properly. Now, what about the immune system? Copper is absolutely known to play an important role in the development and maintenance of your immune system. If you lack copper, you lack neutrophils. In fact, a clinical sign of copper deficiency in us humans is lacking neutrophils. So what's the issue with that? Neutrophils are kind of your first responder white blood cells. So if somebody breathes on you and you didn't wear your mask and you get the coronavirus, the first cells to arrive at the site of infection are neutrophils. And if you lack neutrophils, you can't contain the coronavirus and it starts to spread and get more dangerous and grow in concentration. So neutrophils, they're about 70% of your circulating white blood cells. So lacking copper, that's not happening. So who's at risk of low copper? Well, people who take high doses of zinc. If you take like 50, 60 milligrams of zinc a day for an extended period of time, which people are doing right now, that can cause a copper deficiency because it interferes with the absorption of the copper. It traps the copper in your intestines. You never absorb it. Now, in older people, they need to take a zinc supplement. Older people absorb less zinc from their food They need to take about 30 to 40 milligrams of zinc every day anyway, because you need zinc for your brain, you need it for your eyes, you need it for controlling your blood sugar, you need it for healing, you need it for insulin production, you need it for your thyroid function. There's so many things that zinc's involved with, even digesting your food. So older people actually need to take a little bit more zinc than you could get from your multivitamin or from your diet because they don't absorb it well. But a lot of them don't realize they're using denture creams, and the denture creams also are loaded with zinc. So believe it or not, people using denture creams can wind up with copper deficiencies. Now, also people with intestinal problems, Crohn's disease, colitis, but especially celiac disease. Celiac disease is a severe reaction to the gluten in certain grains, where it causes so much inflammation and damage to the lining of the intestines that these people fail to absorb many different nutrients, not just copper. In any event, thanks for tuning in to the Invite Health Podcast. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts, or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Please make sure you subscribe. Please leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Invite Health Podcast. Thank you so much for listening.